Here is a cosmic update about where we currently are on our journey on this Earth. Hi, I'm Saratoga Ocean, and in this video I'm going to share where we are in our cosmic journey today, along with a hidden miracle that's beginning to unfold before us. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can join our growing community of spiritual seekers and lightworkers. So I have a lot to share with you guys today. I want to start by talking about where we are and in what areas the light is beginning to win in this cosmic battle for our souls. And later in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you some very important information about how we can shift our perception of reality in ways that are really necessary for us to be able to ascend. And this shift will also enable us to be able to create in amazing ways that you can't even imagine. And we're going to be needing to expand our consciousness and our abilities in this way, you guys, because the battle isn't over yet. Now, if you've been following me, you probably know that I usually view things going on this planet from an extraterrestrial or a cosmic perspective. And that's because the source of all our problems is beyond this Earth. The biggest lie that we have ever been told is that there's no life out there, just us. That we are the only life form in the entire cosmos. Now, we were told this lie in order to keep us enslaved. This is designed to keep us in a perpetual state of confusion where we just continue fighting and blaming each other for everything. And that's because we don't think there's anyone else, there's just us. And this allows the actual controllers who are not human to maintain their control over us. I mean, it's easy, you guys, because we can't see them and we don't even believe they exist. So the humans that we think are in control are actually being controlled by these off-world forces. And this is the main reason that we have been unable to solve our human problems for millennia, no matter how hard we try. It's because we're not really dealing with a full deck when it comes to reality. And honestly, that really should have been obvious to us a long time ago. But it didn't, because we have been so effectively dumbed down into an almost animalistic state. We fight and we argue and we blame each other almost constantly about everything. We do this on a macro level of countries and on a micro level of our own personal relationships. But all of that is beginning to change. We human beings are finally waking up. And that's the real miracle that's starting to unfold right now. So the off-world controllers who control the human beings are really starting to struggle right now. And this is why so much of what they do is backfiring on them. Now, this doesn't mean we're in the clear, you guys. Believe me, they're not going to stop trying. But here's where we are right now. First, they tried locking us down and shutting down civilization by terrifying us over a virus. They basically told us that we had to completely end our way of life, wear masks everywhere, and stay separated from each other. If you so much as set foot in a park or on a beach, you were said to be a danger to society and a murderer. I mean, this was the ultimate version of divide and conquer. They wanted to break down all of our human connections and traumatize us in the process with fear and terror. At a cosmic level of things, this was an attempt to thwart our ascension process by locking down all of our human energy and putting us in a perpetually distracted state of fear, trauma, and confusion. But this didn't work out entirely the way they planned. During the lockdown, people started questioning everything. Millions more people began waking up because they had time to think and question their entire reality. And trust in the status quo completely evaporated. people began to connect with each other in new ways that were often more spiritual. They started to evolve because they had to. So then the lockdown starts to get released, and just when everyone is hoping to restore some semblance of their lives, the controllers have something else in mind. They decide to use that pent-up energy as fuel for even more trauma and greater division. They wanted to shift that energy and channel it into violence and hatred. So they thought they would be very clever and stage this horrible murder in broad daylight with cameras recording every heartbreaking moment. Then they would broadcast it worldwide over and over and over again to produce maximum collective trauma. I mean, I think it's kind of obvious they had it all planned to stage a race war. Now, later on, you're going to understand why this level of division is so important to them. Now, they knew for sure that this kind of horror would definitely result in mass protests, and this would be perfect for their diabolical plan. They would infiltrate the protests with violence to make Black people who were already victims look like criminals. They figured that this would result in even more racism on both sides. The white people would hate the Black people for being so violent, and the Black community would be even more upset that the white people were not understanding and were continuing their injustice. I mean, I can just imagine these guys rubbing their hands together in secret and thinking to themselves, oh, this will be so bad, this will never, ever heal the divide. Of course, we already know that's backfiring, right? I don't know if you guys noticed, but it was all over the internet how there were these shadowy figures who were posing as police trying to intensify the violence. And people were finding piles of bricks and weapons mysteriously placed in all these different cities. And there was even this one guy caught on video in different locations, dressed completely in black from head to toe, wearing some kind of a weird mask so you couldn't even see his face or his skin. And he was carrying a black umbrella completely open when there was no rain in sight. He would just walk past buildings, smashing windows with no explanation at all. I would not be surprised if this could have been some kind of an alien wearing a disguise. I mean, how come he was so covered up that you couldn't see anything? And what's up with the fully open black umbrella? I mean, was this some alien who was just a little bit confused about earthly attire? Don't think that hasn't happened before. Anyway, this diabolical plot might have worked out except for the fact that we are in the midst of ascension and of the great cosmic awakening. You see, a profound light continues to emerge from every human heart on this planet to illuminate what is actually going on. And those who are ready to wake up are waking up more and more. So then the energy of the peaceful protests grew and grew. So in spite of all the confusion, the anger, and the attempts to control what was happening, a whole lot of people started operating under the wire of this psychological warfare. People started talking to each other one-on-one, trying to understand what has been happening with this racial divide from a very human, heart-centered point of view. I mean, I have seen some of the most amazing things coming from the Black community that are so sincere, genuine, and heartfelt in terms of their communication. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, it could really bring you to tears to see the beauty of their humanity and what they've actually been through. And just as an aside, you guys, I truly feel that it has been a total loss to those of us who are white to have not been in communion with our Black brothers and sisters. Honest to God, it has been a loss to all of us. Absolutely a fact. But in any case, people are starting to listen to each other. And a lot of people are trying to heal the horrors of racism on both sides of this issue. And yes, there are still those who are very angry and very reactive. But I think a lot of those people are eventually going to come through this and come to terms with it in their own way. We really just have to give people space, because there's a light shining through all of this that is nothing short of miraculous if you are willing and open to tune into it. Now, guys, this is all very bad news for the perpetrators of this entire situation. I mean, this is not at all what they intended. Once again, their plan to divide and conquer has been ruined by the powerful process of our ascension and by our coming back into our true power as who we really are. Now, I want to share a vision with you guys that came to me just the other night. If we all become one, which is our true state of humanity, we are going to experience a power that we never even imagined. I mean, it was a vision that I could see it and feel it. If that were to happen, these controllers would be finished, and you know what? We wouldn't even have to lift a finger, because the vibration and light of such an experience would be of such a high level of frequency that these controllers couldn't even exist at that level of vibration and frequency. Now, I'm not talking about some sort of oneness on a political level where we all agree with each other. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about oneness at a cosmic level of truth. And if that were to happen, our power to create would be so vast that it would go well beyond anything you've ever imagined. In fact, that power would be so transmutational that it would instantly dissolve any past traumas as though they never even happened. Now, I really believe this is possible. However, we are going to have to evolve quite a bit before something like this could ever happen. I mean, we're going to have to give up a lot in terms of how we typically look at things. So here's what I want to share with you about expanding our perception of reality. Now, what I'm going to share with you is just the beginning. So all you have to do right now is just contemplate what I'm saying. Don't try to force anything to happen just yet, because I'm going to go into more detail about this in future videos. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of it. Now, the extraterrestrial entities that are controlling this planet obviously do not have our best interests at heart. And this is really very plain to see if you just care to look at it, that this is a slave planet. We have been purposefully dumbed down so that our perception of reality is linear and one-dimensional, which puts us at a huge disadvantage. Whereas they, on the other hand, operate from a multidimensional and interdimensional perspective of reality. So when your perception is linear and one-dimensional, it causes you to believe that there's only one version of actual reality. But that's not true. There are multiple overlapping timelines and trajectories happening all at once. You can think of these timelines as different stories all coexisting at the same time. So each timeline exists as almost like a separate layer of reality, and they're all layered one on top of the other. And each one is real in terms of those who are awake to that particular trajectory. So, for example, you have a political timeline. You have different religious timelines. You have what I call the conveyor belt timeline. That's the one we were told to go to school for so we could get a good job. You have the AI timeline. And then you have genetic timelines, which are related to the different extraterrestrial groups who are conducting their genetic experiments here on this planet. You have different timelines of interdimensional evolutionary development. You have various ascension timelines that intersect in all kinds of different ways throughout the galaxy and the cosmos. You have interdimensional timelines, where time runs in different directions via energy portals and stargates. You have the timeline of our solar system and our galaxy. And these are just a few examples. So intelligent life in the universe can function at all these different levels simultaneously. Whereas we, on the other hand, function at just one level. Now, here's what you need to understand about this. We may consciously experience several levels of these timelines, like in religion or politics or in our conveyor belt lifestyle. But because our perception is organized in such a way that we believe there's only one timeline, we argue over which one is correct. We argue over which one should be dominant over the other. But it doesn't work like that. Reality functions in layers of perception. Think of it this way. Imagine if you had a whole bunch of different reels of movie film, and then you stretched out those pieces of film and you layered a whole bunch of them one on top of the other. They would all be equally present simultaneously. And you could actually imagine functioning at a more expanded level of consciousness where you did not think that the game was to argue which one was correct. That you could actually be able to function in such a way that you could navigate through all of them at the same time. Now, it's important to know that we human beings actually are capable of functioning at these higher levels of experienced reality. It's just that our consciousness and our DNA have been so compromised and damaged that we are rather crippled in this area. But we're going to heal. We just need to understand that it's a process. You can't just flip a switch and it all goes away. So for right now, all you have to do is just contemplate this and see if it resonates for you. Because that's the first step, and that's really all you need to do for right now. Now, before I finish this video, I just want to share one more thing with you. The controllers have now failed twice in their attempts to divide us at the most extreme levels. And they've only succeeded in us awakening even more. But they're still trying on both counts. Here's the problem that they have right now. They made it very clear that the virus doesn't matter if people are protesting. But now that they're seeing that effort going south, they're starting to bring up the virus again. So be prepared for them to possibly try another lockdown to give themselves time to figure out their next move. Because I won't be surprised if they say something like, oh, what do you know? The protests created a second wave. I guess we're going to have to lock everyone down again. But the thing is, they have lost so much credibility that it's going to be a lot more difficult for them to do this a second time around. But I'm sure they have some other things up their sleeve that are not going to be so great. Because this is by no means over yet. So the most important thing that you can do right now is to continue nurturing your spiritual awakening. Stay focused on your ascension journey. It's so important that you stay strong physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Because the rest of this year could be extremely difficult, so you really need to prepare yourself now. But just remember that our hearts are strong. And we have powerful allies in the universe who are helping us. We just have to make sure that we are doing our part to evolve so that we can meet them at a point where they can really support us at the level that we need to be supported. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it out with your friends. And be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell because I will be here 3 times a week with new videos so we can continue the conversation. I'm sending you so much love, light, and positive energy. Stay focused, my friends. Namaste.